Picture this. You're walking into your local Walmart supercenter, cart rattling along the shiny floor, headed for the meat aisle. The giant signs scream, fresh, affordable, perfect for your family BBQ. But what if I told you that what's waiting behind that plastic wrapped promise could send you straight to the ER? Because in 2024, Walmart didn't just have a bad day in the meat department. They served up one of the biggest food safety disasters in years. And the worst part? Most shoppers never saw it coming. Let's roll back the tape to May 1st, 2024. As families across America were stocking up on burger patties for grilling season, Walmart was dealing with an emergency recall. Over 8 tons of ground beef were pulled from shelves in 11 states after federal inspectors found deadly E. coli contamination. And no, this wasn't a just to be safe situation. This was a Class 1 recall, the government's highest risk category, meaning if you cooked up that Walmart beef, you weren't just risking an upset stomach. You were risking kidney failure, hospitalization, or worse. Here's the kicker. Those contaminated packages, some were processed as recently as April 26th. So when that recall hit on May 1st, those burgers were already sitting in fridges across the country, waiting to be cooked up for family dinners. I bought that exact beef last week, one customer wrote in a viral Facebook post. I already served it to my kids. Now I'm terrified. No confirmed deaths were reported, but over 16,000 pounds of Walmart beef were either tossed out or returned. And just like that, Walmart's reputation took a gut punch it still hasn't recovered from. But folks, that was just the beginning. Slimy chicken? Moldy steak? Oh, it gets worse. Not long after the beef recall, social media exploded with videos that'll make your skin crawl. TikTok users started posting footage of gray, slimy chicken purchased from Walmart. We're talking about chicken that looked like it had already spent a week in a dumpster before hitting the shelf. One clip zoomed in on fuzzy white spots that looked suspiciously like mold, growing inside the sealed package. Bought this from Walmart yesterday, the TikToker whispered, voice shaking. It smells so bad. I almost threw up opening it, and it wasn't just internet drama. A leading consumer watchdog ranked Walmart's chicken as one of the worst grocery buys in America after waves of shoppers reported spoiled or slimy poultry, sometimes days before the sell-by date. Even more shocking, a Miami Herald investigation exposed that one Walmart in Broward County, Florida, was caught storing raw meat at unsafe temperatures. With green mold growing right on the beef, state inspectors slapped that store with the lowest possible food safety rating, citing bacteria buildup and contaminated equipment in the meat department. Imagine being the customer who didn't get the memo, picking up that fresh Walmart steak and serving it to your family. Isolated incidents or a growing pattern? Walmart's official line? You guessed it, these are isolated incidents. But let's be honest, when viral videos, customer complaints, and government investigations start piling up, it's not an isolated incident, it's a pattern, and customers are noticing. Walk through the meat section of any Walmart today, and you'll overhear the whispers, "Did you see that recall? Is this the bad batch? Better not risk it. The trust is gone." Shoppers are leaving the meat aisle empty-handed or heading straight to competitors like Costco, Publix, and local butcher shops, where they feel safer spending their hard-earned money. I used to buy all my meat at Walmart, one TikTok user confessed. Now I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And who can blame them? After a year like 2024, when 8 tons of beef, slimy chicken, and moldy steaks made headlines, is it even worth the risk? Former employees speak out. And here's the thing. You don't just have to take the customer's word for it. We were rushed to stock shelves without checking temperatures. I saw meat sitting in the back room way too long, said one former Walmart employee on Reddit. They cut labor so much, we barely had time to clean the meat cases. Nobody checked for cross-contamination, claimed another. If the people who used to work there are warning us, maybe it's time we listen. Because when the people handling the food don't trust it, you shouldn't either. All right, so you've survived the meat aisle, you've dodged the bad beef, skipped the slimy chicken, and you're thinking, I'll just grab some healthy veggies and call it a day. Bad news, because what's waiting in Walmart's produce section might be even worse. In late 2024, shoppers looking for healthy, pre-washed veggies got more than they bargained for. Walmart's market-side brand broccoli florets, the ones proudly labeled ready to eat, were quietly recalled after a random test in Texas came back positive for Listeria monocytogenes. Yep, Listeria, the same bacteria that can cause miscarriages, brain infections, and even death, especially in pregnant women, seniors, and people with weakened immune systems. The broccoli bombshell that went nationwide. It started as a small, under-the-radar recall on December 27, 2024. But by January 2025, the FDA stepped in, elevating the recall to Class 1 status, the same high-risk level as that E. coli beef scare. Imagine pulling what you thought was a healthy bag of broccoli from your fridge and realizing it could send you or your family to the hospital. And here's the kicker. The best if used by date on that broccoli? December 10th, 2024. By the time Walmart shoppers heard about the recall, they had already eaten it. The contaminated broccoli was sold in 20 states, sitting in fridges all across the country for weeks before the public even knew there was a problem. I made broccoli casserole for Christmas dinner with that exact bag, one shopper posted online. I'm sick to my stomach just thinking about it. But it didn't stop there. Just a few months later, April 2025, Walmart was hit again. This time, packaged celery sticks, sold under the same market-side brand, were recalled after Listeria was found during an inspection in Georgia. The recall stretched to 30 states. By the time the FDA went public, the celery's sell-by date had already passed, March 23, 2025. But the FDA issued a special warning. Some shoppers freeze celery for later use, meaning people could still have those contaminated celery sticks sitting in their freezer right now. Who knew frozen celery could be deadly? One shopper ranted on TikTok. Thanks for nothing, Walmart. The produce gamble. No one wants to play. Even when Walmart's produce isn't being recalled, customers are still fed up. In a poll by Eat This, Not That, Walmart was voted the worst grocery store in America for produce quality. Let that sink in. The worst. I've thrown away more slimy salad from Walmart than I can count, one shopper wrote. Every time I order produce from Walmart, it arrives rotten or expired, another customer posted, showing a photo of moldy strawberries delivered in their online grocery order. From yellowed lettuce to mushy grapes to sour-smelling berries, shoppers say Walmart's produce often spoils days before the expiration date. Former employees confirm what customers suspect. We'd get shipments of produce already on the edge, said one former Walmart associate. And management didn't care. They just told us to put it on the shelf. Shoppers have noticed. And they're not sticking around. I'll pay a little more at Publix or Kroger if it means my lettuce isn't going to poison me or turn to mush overnight, a former Walmart shopper declared in a viral TikTok. Trust is evaporating from deadly bacteria to rotten quality to terrible handling. Walmart's produce section has gone from fresh and healthy to a total gamble. Families who used to fill their carts with Walmart veggies are now heading to farmers markets, local grocers, and regional competitors where they feel their food is handled with actual care. And Walmart? They're left scrambling to win back the trust they've already lost. We're working hard to improve quality and safety, Walmart's PR team claims. But after Listeria scares, rotten strawberries, and moldy salad, shoppers are asking, too little, too late? All right, so you've made it past the meat and produce aisles. You're thinking, Let me just grab some milk, eggs, and butter. What could possibly go wrong there? Well, buckle up, because Walmart's dairy aisle, it's become a landmine of spoiled products and price tag shockers that have left customers furious. The Great Milk Meltdown. Let's rewind to 2023, when a small tip to a local Indiana TV station exploded into a nationwide scandal. A Walmart shopper in Fort Wayne reached out to Wayne 15 News, claiming that her great value milk kept going sour days before the printed date. The station started digging, and what they uncovered sent shockwaves across the country. Dozens of customers from multiple states flooded the station with the same story. My Walmart milk is spoiling early. Moms, dads, seniors, college kids, all saying their milk was turning into chunky, sour sludge days, even weeks, before the sell-by date. I poured it on my cereal, and it came out in clumps, one mom said. My daughter had the same problem, twice in 1 month. Her Facebook post about the incident racked up over 150 shares and dozens of comments from other shoppers shouting, "Me too," and experts confirmed the problem was real. The cold chain crisis. Food safety specialists explain that milk spoilage usually happens when the cold chain is broken. That's the temperature-controlled journey milk takes from the processing plant to the delivery truck, to the store cooler, and finally to your fridge. If milk gets too warm at any point along the way, bacteria can grow fast, causing spoilage long before the date on the jug, experts warned. And guess what? Walmart's Fort Wayne processing plant had already received complaints. While inspectors didn't find any major violations, the pattern was clear. Somewhere between the plant and Walmart's shelves, the cold chain was failing. Former employees speak out. We used to get shipments of milk that sat on the floor for hours before hitting the cooler, one former Walmart worker revealed on Reddit. Managers didn't care. They just told us to stock it fast. Customers noticed, and they weren't happy. Every time I buy milk from Walmart, it goes bad 2 days later, one user ranted on Reddit. I'm done wasting money. And if spoiled milk wasn't enough, Walmart shoppers have also been hit with record-high prices on eggs, butter, and dairy staples. Remember the 2022 to 2023 egg crisis? Egg prices skyrocketed, with some stores charging over $6 a dozen. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon even admitted in late 2024 that egg and dairy prices were still hurting consumers, and customers felt betrayed. I used to get milk and eggs for under $5, one shopper tweeted. Now it's over $10 for the same 2 items. And here's the worst part. The prices didn't always match the quality. Walmart's milk is cheap until you have to throw half of it away, another shopper posted. Not such a bargain after all. The dairy exodus begins. More and more shoppers are ditching Walmart's dairy aisle altogether. They're heading to local dairies, farmers markets, or competitors like Aldi and Kroger, where the milk lasts longer and the eggs don't feel like a gamble. I started getting milk delivered from a local farm, one TikTok user bragged. It actually lasts. I'll never go back to Walmart. And who can blame them? When your breakfast staples, milk, eggs, butter, become a source of anxiety and frustration, trust in your grocery store shatters. Walmart's hollow promise. Walmart loves to say, save money, live better. But how are you saving money if your milk spoils early, your eggs cost a fortune, and you're throwing food in the trash? The truth is clear. More and more shoppers are walking away because peace of mind, that's priceless, and Walmart just isn't delivering it anymore. By now, you might be thinking, okay, the fresh stuff is bad, but frozen food? That's gotta be safe, right? Wrong again, because even Walmart's freezer aisle has turned into a disaster zone. In March 2025, Nestlé, the company behind Lean Cuisine and Stouffer's, dropped a bombshell recall. 4 popular frozen meals were pulled from shelves nationwide after customers found wood chips in their food. That's right, wood. Imagine heating up your favorite butternut squash ravioli, taking a big bite, and gagging on splinters. One customer choked on the debris. That's when Nestlé sounded the alarm. And yes, those products were sold at Walmart. First moldy meat, now wood in my dinner? What's next? One shopper ranted on TikTok, but it didn't stop there. In 2023, Walmart's great value frozen fruit, including mixed berries, mango chunks, and cherries, were recalled in 30 states after being linked to listeria contamination. That's the same deadly bacteria found in Walmart's fresh produce. Shoppers were warned to check their freezers and throw it all away. One mom summed it up perfectly. I just wanted to make a smoothie for my kids. Now I'm scared to buy anything frozen from Walmart. And who could blame her? Quality? What quality? Even when the products aren't getting recalled, customers are finding freezer burn, thawed and refrozen ice cream, and cheap private label junk that falls apart the second you cook it. I bought frozen strawberries and found black hairs in the bag. One disgusted customer wrote in a review, "Never again. These stories aren't just one-offs. They're everywhere. And customers are done. Why risk it? I can get the same brand at Kroger without the drama," another shopper said. Walmart's frozen food aisle? It's officially on ice. You'd think pantry staples, cereal, snacks, canned goods would be safe. But Walmart's playing a different game here. It's called shrinkflation, and it's hitting your wallet hard. Shrinkflation strikes again. Ever notice how that family-sized cereal box seems smaller than it used to be? That's because it is. LendingTree found that 1 in 3 grocery products at Walmart have shrunk in size since the pandemic, while prices stayed the same or went up. Take Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. The family size used to be 24 ounces. Now, it's 21.7 ounces for the same price. You're paying more for less, and customers aren't blind to it. It's a ripoff, plain and simple, one shopper posted. Walmart thinks we won't notice, but we do. Great value or great disappointment? Even Walmart's own great value brand is letting people down. Their peanut butter is awful, thick, chunky, and flavorless, one customer complained. The maple syrup tastes like sugar water, and it's actually more expensive than better brands, another shopper noted. So much for great value. The trust is gone with tainted meat, rotten produce, spoiled milk, wood chips and frozen meals, shrinkflation, and questionable quality. Shoppers are finally done. They're leaving Walmart, one by one, cart by cart, heading to Costco, Aldi, Publix, or local markets where they actually trust the food they're buying. I used to do my whole grocery haul at Walmart, one former customer shared. Now, I go anywhere else. And you know what? Walmart has no one to blame but itself. It's death by 1,000 cuts sheer. Not everyone's walking away all at once. But make no mistake, the tide is turning. One family skips the beef. Another avoids the produce. Another stops buying milk. Another ditches the snacks. And it adds up fast. Walmart's grocery empire? It's cracking. And shoppers are taking their dollars elsewhere. So, what about you? Are you still buying your groceries at Walmart? Or have you noticed the same problems we just exposed? Tell us your Walmart horror story in the comments. We read them all. So, if this video opened your eyes to what's really happening in retail, do me a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to Frugal Pro for weekly retail exposés, and drop a comment. What store on this list surprised you the most? Let's talk about it. Let's share the knowledge, and let's keep saving money together. Until next time, shop smart, spend less, and never let them fool you again.